What's going on YouTube? RemixedCereal here again. I hope all of you guys are doing well and enjoying the weather that we're having out here in Chicago right now. It seems like the second that July left and August rolled in, we've been having some really nice weather. But anyway, this morning I was taking my Corvette up to my shop to get a little bit of work done, or should I say get touched up. If you guys, I don't really tell you guys this, but I've been having some actual problems with that car. Ever since I got the car modified, actually, I've been running into a bunch of issues. And because of that, I wanted to actually talk to you guys about some of the things that you should keep in mind when you decide to modify your car. This especially goes for people that modify or heavily modify their only car. So this goes for you guys if you have only one car and you don't have like your parents or your girlfriend's car to lean on when your car is in the shop. This video is especially for you. Also, I forgot to mention, if you drive one vehicle and all you plan on doing is taking off a muffler and then maybe tinting your windows a little bit and then letting the modifications stop there, this doesn't really necessarily apply to you. This applies to people that like to modify their cars heavily, take them to car shows, maybe go a little bit above and beyond with their modifications, you know, high dollar items and aftermarket options. This video is for you. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about is actually taking your car to the shop and scheduling those modifications. The reason that I mention this is because when I got my Corvette wrapped, no offense to the shop that wrapped it, but the Corvette was only scheduled to be wrapped for 5 days. The drop-off was on a Monday and pickup was on I believe it was on a Friday. That's the day that it was supposed to be picked up. Now that ended up getting delayed twice. I originally scheduled for sometime around mid-July, and then that was pushed back to mid-June, and then it was pushed back again to one of the last weeks of June. I then dropped the car off on that Monday. I was expecting a pickup on Friday. That didn't necessarily happen. It was delayed. They had the car for a week, and then they delayed me from Friday to that Saturday, and then from that Saturday to that Tuesday, and then I got delayed again from Tuesday to that Thursday. Now the car, like I mentioned, it came out great. They did great work, you know, but if that was the only car I had and I was renting a vehicle, that would have gotten very expensive very quickly without me even knowing it. So like I mentioned, I have this car to back me up. This car will never be modified. It looks super boring. And that's the point of this video, is that you can save yourself a lot of money if you prepare and have a secondary vehicle to lean on ahead of time. Because I can see that a lot of people, they'll jump into modifying their cars, getting a wrap or getting some lights put in or whatever. And then when things get delayed, you can't get your car back for whatever reason, or if the shop has it for an additional few days, or if there's additional work that needs to be done, you're out of a car. You still need to get to work. You still need to get groceries. Just something to keep in mind, because that can get very expensive for you, especially if you only have one vehicle. So please do keep that in mind. Okay, another one of the points that I wanted to mention is that when you're installing aftermarket parts, that you need to remember that these parts are aftermarket. They're not OEM, and you're not guaranteed that they're going to be working when you get them. For example, I have sponsorships with Lighting Trends, OPT7, and I have a sponsorship with the Retrofit Source. Those guys provided, between the three of them, they provided me the underglow, the front DRL boards, and the Lamborghini inspired tail lights. Now, the only thing that hasn't went wrong is actually the underglow on the vehicle and the footwell lighting in the vehicle. But my front lights from Lighting Trends, those were, again, brand new lights, a brand new module. And for some reason, the module was messed up and I had to open my hood. I think I mentioned it in that video. I may clip to it if I still have that footage. But I used to have to actually open the hood just to turn the lights on and off. And like I mentioned, that's a brand new module with labor and everything. And I had to get a brand new module under warranty, have my shop put that back in. So I had to drive back up to my shop in Chicago, pay him a little bit of money for his time, and have that new part put in for a part that was supposed to be brand new. Like, those things do happen. So yeah, that's one of the issues that I had. The next issue that I had was for my Aventador taillights. and my Aventador taillights, I believe the driver's side taillight was malfunctioning, and the brake light would stay on even though I'm not on the brakes. And if you can see, touching it is it fucks them up bad. You see, like just tap it or whatever, it turns them off. And then when I put the brake on, so I'm pressing the brake.
Now they come. Okay, now it was just doing it, but
yeah. So the passenger one is flashing, but the other one isn't, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the problem. I can't drive like that. So, but when I turn the car off, it works. Oh, it's not even on. See?
Yeah, see, it's flashing real bad.
Yes. I don't know what the hell is going on. So again, though that pair of taillights were brand new, yet it was causing me major issues. My Corvette was giving me signal errors and saying that the taillight was out and that it was having electrical problems. I had to reach out to the retrofit source. I had to get a warranted out taillight. That cost me $200. I didn't get the part for 3-4 days. Then I had to take that part, get it put back in by my shop, which cost more money, more labor, more time. And you know, those are just a few examples of what can happen when you mess around with these aftermarket parts. And not to mention the legality of some of these parts. There is, depending on what state you live in and what kind of rules they have, tinting your windows very, very dark can be illegal and give you a few tickets. Having underglow lighting, more tickets. Tinting out your taillights too dark or painting them, an additional ticket, more fines. Same thing goes with the front headlights and whatever light you decide to run, you know. And when you pile on all those tickets, sometimes they give you a fix-it ticket, which you have to take your car back to a shop, get those mods removed. It just turns into a huge, massive headache. And that is definitely not something that you want to be driving and dealing with on a daily basis, especially if you're just trying to go down the street to your job or go pick up some groceries or whatever. You're driving around in a tinted vehicle that's not even legal, and you just turn into a police magnet. So that's another reason why you want to think about either having a backup vehicle that you can borrow from your family or your friends, or just something to ride around in, because when you modify your car very, very heavily, sometimes you can get ahead of yourself, and you may find yourself on the wrong side of the law when you're not even trying to be. But yeah, that's about it. The third point I had in this video was actually keeping the car legal, but I kind of jumbled that all in within the second clip. So I'm just going to end the video right there. Hopefully you learned a little bit of something, because when I was modifying my first Dodge Charger, I'll probably put up a picture of that as well, I didn't really have any of those things in mind, and I ended up spending a ton of money and a lot of my own time leaving my car in the shop for repairs. And that doesn't even mention, depending on where you live, my old car had underglow lighting and I drove it year round, and in the snow, the underglow lighting was just getting torn up like every single year. The lighting was very durable, but it's just something that you have to be worried about and you have to be conscious about. And when you drive a secondary vehicle like I do right there, I drive to work without worrying about any of that stuff in the rain or whatever. So it's just definitely something you should keep in mind. May save you a little bit of money and time. So if you do decide to modify your only vehicle, just be mindful of what you put on it, especially with the legality of it. You don't want to get caught up in tickets and stuff like that. It's just not really worth your time. But anyway, like I mentioned in all my videos, leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy my content. Always keep your head up, and as always, stay positive.
Go ahead and be a little positive. I rehearse my songs every day, it's so repetitive. I don't battle rap, but I ain't gon' lie, I'm competitive. I am the competition, I follow my intuition. Back then, all I did was wishing, that time is really ticking. I saw that sack, you know a nigga got to run it. I am the king, and your bitch kingdom coming.